You're listening to I'm Telling You. You're listening to I'm Telling You.
Hey fam, welcome back to another episode of I'm Telling You.
I am telling you.
As always, your antics-filled host, Philly D.
Mr. Gemini.
Cookie Clacker Fact Checker, Miss JD.
Yeah, if you want to reach out to us, you can hit us up collectively at ITY at directionsandmusic.org.
Or PHILLYD at directionsandmusic.org.
Yeah, and if you want to hit up Gemini, then you can Gemini, GEMINI, at directionsandmusic.org. Yeah, for first-time listeners, this is a 30-year friendship of you and I just chopping it up, talking about everything and nothing all at the same time.
Yeah, we just put mics on, that's all.
Yeah.
This is us.
And we throw in some dad jokes and movie quotes, and we got a
That is a
fact
show.
checker.
Wait a minute. That is a show. This is us.
This is, I don't know, maybe.
This isn't that, but this is us.
This is not that, in fact. Yeah. And if you're just checking in and hearing us, you should pop on before us and check out Larry K, because he's...
For real. Yeah.
We got some great stuff here on DIM.
He's got some life-changing, like,
dude, he has
old
great
school, I mean, all rock and roll, but I mean, about as old as you can go. Like, he goes way back.
He does have a widespread. He really does. I mean, you're talking multiple decades. He really does. And then he also throws in like some really cool, like educational, like those weird little don't need to know facts, but that's so cool to know that kind of a thing.
And apparently he might listen to us a little bit too. So
Yeah, I think he does. I'm pretty sure he does.
That's pretty rock on. That's pretty awesome.
Oh,
But I mean, it sounded like he was trying to nail down what the show is. And I love the fact that it's so elusive that you can't even figure out.
Even we don't know what this is.
This is it. This is it.
Yeah. Strap in.
Yeah,
this is a 1 hour ride of this. You're welcome. You boys like Mexico?
You're welcome. I'm just going to assume you said thank you, because guess what?
You're welcome. I know. Dude, honestly, that's one of my things from like way back in the day. There was a bartender that she was just a great person, but also a great bartender. And that was like her little niche of things was she'd always, whatever she did, she would always just say, "You're welcome" afterwards. Mm-hmm. So whether it was like an insult or I'm getting you your this, it doesn't matter. It was always just
"You're welcome.
You're welcome." But she would be all like super cute about it and like, bat her eyes and show off the freaking, the freckles and whatever else and just super big smile.
Whatever else? No. It's the whatever else.
Bars or presents.
No, what? Oh.
Oh, geez. Come on.
I didn't know what you were getting at there.
Have some respect for yourself.
Have some respect, but what is got some sound issues over here.
Yeah, we did. We a little interference from that's all right. We can fix that.
Can we?
I mean usually that's this is why we do our warm-up show, the green room, right? So we can figure all this stuff out because we were having some issues before, but
right, we're just coming off of that and everything seemed like it ended okay, but we may have some.
Well, normally you don't hear those when I'm in the other room, but I'm in another back room.
Saturday. Yeah.
It's Saturday, bro. It's not Saturday, actually, but,
Gonna have to have you come in.
I have to go ahead and ask you to come in.
On Saturday.
And while you're at it.
Yeah.
Just going to go ahead and ask you to come in on Sunday, too. Oh, man.
It's, regular hours. 9 o'clock, it's...
He's leaving all the voicemails. Yeah, Peter.
Everyone starts with, yeah.
It's Bill again.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Boop. Yeah.
I think he just like unplugs it and like knocks it off the table or something.
Yeah.
Care less. And trash. I mean, dude, that's what I would do.
Lumberg?
I mean, the name alone says I'm a douche, right?
Yeah.
There's
how about you move over to the left just to, yeah.
See, the thing that and this is, I think, so Office Space, if I'm not mistaken, is the same guy that does Beavis and Butthead. I think it was the same writer or something like that.
Writer, producer, or something.
It's something to that effect. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Mike Judge.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's like a production of
Which
his.
I thought was hilarious when I found that out. I was like, this really is kind of like the adult version of Beavis and Butthead.
What do
If there is such a thing.
Right. Well, because to me, there's like so many cool little scenes in that movie that just the scene by itself is hilarious. Like total exterior, no content or context whatsoever of the movie itself. If you just saw that scene, it's funny. You know, like it just
Like the printer copier machine.
when they go like all ghetto on it and they take it out and
I got you a going away gift.
And no more paper jams on this thing. Bow.
Yeah, and Mike was going nuts.
Yeah, and that was the thing is like, so even the music that they were playing, like the whole,
This whole gangster rap.
yeah, but it was the whole scene in and of itself is like what really spoke it. And it was just like you as like a white collar cubicle type worker, you know, basic level drone type that's just like, I input data. Yay. Here's a memo. Yeah. Like, you know, that humdrum boring crap. And it's like, we've all had that fantasy where it's like, we want to destroy that thing.
Yeah.
What do you mean there's no more toner? I just put a cartridge in. Dude, just want to break that.
Now
thing.
they're all blinking. Yeah, same kind of thing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so I get that. You know,
It's a rough life, man.
yeah, I mean, honestly, it is.
It's a rough life.
It's then see when you think of like 9 to 5.
And, you know, if you're lucky enough to have an original idea, somebody else just takes it from you.
I mean, I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, it's
Not all. You can't endorse this. This is sorry. We don't speak factually here. Just so you're aware.
No, absolutely not. But
Our fact checker, however,
I'm
does.
saying, we're talking about coming from like a big corporate environment.
Yeah, you were one of them cubicle boys.
It really was just like a number.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I had a number.
Yeah,
That was on my ID. Like it was.
yeah, right.
It might as well have been my name. Like I could have used that number anywhere I went.
Yeah, right. No, that's. I think that's also
It's
a part
all about, man. It's like the man holding you down.
Well, so I think there's been studies on I think there's like a psychological aspect to that where you're literally being numbered. So whether it's your work ID or, you know, if it's your prisoner ID or if it's your military, you know, ID, like whatever, you get sectioned into understanding that, you know, you're part of a bigger machine. I think there's like, you know what I mean? So that, yeah, they kind of humanize you by like making you a number, literally.
Dehumanize you and make you, yeah.
But they give you money for it, so it's okay.
One of the masses.
Yeah, but you know, you get to buy stuff, so that's dope. Totally makes up for it, man. I can buy me some Mickey D's now.
Okay.
Go get me some fries and a shake.
Okay. I can buy the gas that goes in my car. It gets me to work.
Dude, and you know, I mean, like,
Sometimes it felt like that. You know what I mean?
well, so
Like I work hard enough to pay the bills and to put gas and insurance on the car so I can get it to work and back so that I can make money, so that I can put money into the house, so I can pay for a car to get back and forth to work.
well, see, and I think that's a lot of like why
You
there
work
is.
to live instead of live to work.
Well, I mean, that's the way. I mean, you should be doing it so that you have that better balance.
I don't
but-
mind breaking even if I'm like having a little fun with it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, so to me, that seems to be like why things now, movement wise, you're getting these younger generations that move into the heart of the cities again, and you know they walk or they Uber or whatever the heck, or you know they take bikes or they're still doing the whole city thing, but they're not subscribing to all of those standard, you know, materialistic ideas. So they still live almost like a very minimalistic, but in the city, so you still get like everything kind of a thing.
It's hard to live minimalistic in the city, but yeah.
Well, when you have everything that's like right there.
When you're home for the night, yeah. Like, do you want water? Do you have to pee? Okay, you're good. That's it. Like whatever clothes you brought with you. Like That's it. Basic shit. It's relatively warm in the house. There's running water.
See, that's why I like the idea of doing
There's
whole
juice, eggs, and milk in the fridge.
But that's why I like the idea of doing the whole food forest, like literally living off the land, being one with everything, finding that balance and stuff, where you have what you need and want.
Well, you've been talking about this idea for a while about having yourself a little private farm.
Pretty much.
I think that's a pretty cool idea. Like, you know, when you want corn, you just go in your backyard and you pick some corn.
Yeah.
You know,
Or peppers,
and if you want things that are out of season, like, I mean, I guess you would just have to start canning or preserving, pickling.
This is where you and I was talking about doing the whole food forest thing, and you said to me, you're like, oh, well, you're gonna have to live more southern, like towards the equator, so you get like that warmer climate. I was like, bro, I can just freaking greenhouse that. And you're like, well, won't those trees get so big? I'm like, dude, you keep them trimmed back, and you know they still produce. But yeah, I mean, you could do a full, almost like mini biosphere, where it's just like massive greenhouse in your backyard that you can just constantly
Like 10 foot tall. Like, I feel like it would have to be.
Oh yeah, no, I mean you're talking you're talking like a 15 to 20 foot
Because
tall.
if you basically want to start, you know, whether they're dwarfed plants or not, like you basically want to start dwarfing the plants that you have by,
in a sense,
clipping them high often so that they grow more wide than,
pretty much.
yeah, basically.
Yeah, but I mean, because you're also talking about only producing so much food for, you know, like a few people or something, or a small community, or
you're
you know
not,
what I mean. So
you're not trying to feed the world. Yeah.
yeah, so I don't need to have these massive orchards. I can just have a couple of.
What were we saying, like back in the day, like, or there's still places in the world where you can go to market where there's no money involved at all.
Yeah, there
You know,
was
like that whole concept that basically
you still barter.
you produce whatever you need within your means for your own family, but there's always going to be extra.
Right.
If you're doing it right, there should be.
Right.
You know, there's always going to be some extra. So whether it's, you know, cowhide or meat or, you know, heck, even a good or service or something, like whatever you can provide that's exchangeable for another good or service. You know, you don't have to involve money, because once you involve money, then it's tax. Then it's all kinds of other stuff that you have to worry about.
Well, see, I think it goes a little bit further than that. To me, when
Like,
you
I think it would require a certain amount of, community response. You know what I mean? It would require people taking responsibility for their actions and what they can produce and how they produce it. You know, because the rest of society within your niche is going to respond in kind if they don't like the direction that you're headed. It's going to self-correct.
Yeah, accountability and all that good stuff. Yeah, and that's, to me, the whole putting a value on something that everybody can agree is the price of that. To me, I don't think is very, like, that is very superficial. Where instead, if it's,
And you're not going to try to undercut. You're not going to try and bilk somebody, because you know it's like this is a livelihood. So my value isn't only in my good or service, but how I sell myself.
and the relationship
And the repercussions that has on not only myself and my family, but my neighbors.
yeah, that's why like it. I love
that idea that there's no exchange of actual physical money at all.
Yeah, because I would rather give somebody, you know, a dozen eggs every week for the fact that they painted my house or some shit, you know, or fixed my car.
Yeah, for so many weeks you get, you know,
yeah.
half of whatever eggs we get from our.
Yeah,
I mean, that would be a fair payment.
Right, and that to me.
I mean, and
Have you ever
that
seen?
even today that has value, you know.
Have you ever seen the Bartering? I'm sorry, Bartering. It's a show where literally, like, they go and they'll go on Craigslist and they'll like research whatever somebody's giving away for free or something, and they'll go get it, or they'll do like a trade where zero money. And it's the whole thing is these two guys compete to see who could trade to get like the best thing in the end. So like they'll make like 5 trades to get their goal item at the end. So say one wants like a speedboat. He'll like have this rinky-dink bicycle. He'll trade it for something else, and he'll trade that for something else, and that for something else, and then that for the boat. And then he'll do it, the entire thing with no money whatsoever. It's all free trade spotters or like services or stuff like that. So it's kind of funny to watch them because they have to get creative sometimes. But I do like the fact that there's no money involved in it.
Yeah, I don't think I've
services or trades and goods.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I've never seen that myself. If you're gonna be lax, you can. You just got to, We're already having enough technical difficulties. We can't.
And I am trying to relax.
And we can't have you just, half-assing it over there.
Why not?
Limping it in. That's not what we do here, bro.
I ain't got no ass anyway.
Well, that's why you can't half it. You gotta all it.
You gotta use the whole.
You need all of it.
Non-existent ass that I have,
just to make sure.
I just have a place where my legs come together.
Baby, don't got back.
Yeah. Baby, don't got back.
It doesn't, I'm not feeling it. Yeah.
I don't want none if you got buns, hon. You're like, wait, what? That's not how it goes.
What?
It is now.
You can't, that's Mix-a-Lot, man. You can't mess with that.
I just did.
No, we can't do that.
I just did.
I don't want to offend anybody.
What are you going to do about it?
Stop messing with my mic.
Because
then I don't know where to be. Am I over here?
I halved it for you.
I'll half.
Oh,
I got nothing.
You got nothing over there. That's what you got.
Yes, old man.
Damn straight.
I did like that. Damn straight.
Oh, yeah, you did get me on that one earlier. I mean, I have to say, I do enjoy a good button hook once in a while, and you throw me for a loop, and I do appreciate that, so it's really good.
We do that for each other, right?
I think it's one of those components as to what really solidifies how well we work as like a friendship, because we ground each other in that sense.
We could be talking about some real deep, serious shit.
Yeah, we can be putting it in.
And then suddenly, out of left field,
if somebody's got to break it down just a
some
hair.
Stupid joke comes flying out.
But we can't help it, honestly, at this point. Like, it's just programmed into us.
You can't help but laugh because you're like, this idiot.
Yeah, and that's what
knows me so well.
You're
good. You're
the guy. You're the guy. You're good. You're good. You're the guy. But yeah, no,
that's what you need in conversation. You know what I mean? Because it is. I mean, that's what I feel like. If you're not talking about something real, I mean, something real is sometimes gonna cut deep. But at the same time, like, it doesn't all have to be like, I'm not going to just sit there and pour vinegar on it. You know what I mean? Have the moment, enjoy the moment for what it is, and then move on.
And I mean, that's very much what you and I have become as we've gotten older and hopefully wiser. Maybe not smarter. Probably not smarter, that's for sure. But wiser, maybe.
Just don't take yourself too serious. That's all I got to do. Don't take yourself too serious. You can't.
Yeah. What is it? If you take yourself too serious, you'll never get out alive, right? Is that what it is, or something? But yeah, it's
was it? Oh, I mean, I don't know, but I mean, if you take yourself too seriously, no one else will. I mean, that's the way I think of it.
I really was in a place where I feel as though a lot of my, like, what I would say my suffering or my ills or the things that I was upset about. Mm-hmm. Were very much like self-induced. You know what I mean? Like, so it's instead of me worrying or putting myself into these quandaries, like literally I used to have anxiety and panic attacks because I do it to myself. And I came to that realization, and it took me time to realize what I had done and how to do it. And like, I worked on it, and, cognitive behavioral therapy, positive conditioning, all that kind of stuff. And really just focused on moving past it. But it's one of those things where whether you put it into yourself or not, like, you still kind of have to. So I just got to a place where it's like, you know what, if I seem to be self-actualizing all of these things, if I'm in this place where I'm making it come to life, like literally into fruition, that, I'm going to be happy about stuff and be more appreciative of the things I have and where I've been and where I'm coming from and, where I want to go and the things that I have currently. And, most of this isn't even like physical possessions. It's more of moments and loving family and friends and positivity and just great experiences, And yeah, I came to a place where it's like, it's up to me to choose, and I'm going to choose this.
Or even, moments that you never share with anyone else. Moments where you've learned to grow all on your own just by reflecting on yourself. I think that there's a lot of that missing. And I can't say about the rest of the world, but it just seems like it happens less than maybe it used to. That people taking time to self-reflect and actually...
And you know what? Like, I think it's due to the fact that we have so much freaking availability of information.
Everything's available at the,
we joke about it, but
touch of a button.
That was so 23 seconds ago. Like, we get so inundated with so much literal data and information that, yeah, we just move on to the next thing and ingest more. Next, ingest again, next. But overconsumption and just overwhelming nature, so we don't have time to think, right?
It always cracks me out because, like, being somebody like the way that I am, like I look to the heart of something. Like, so, many different walks of life, and as old as you can go in spiritual texts and stuff. The most important thing that's always been held tantamount to anything else is knowledge of self. And it's so funny that something so close is so elusive. Like, when do people actually take, and me included, it takes something like saying, hey, 3 nights a week, I'm going to take 1 hour just dedicated to, I'm going to shut off all electronics. I'm going to light a candle. I'm going to...
You're going to draw yourself a bath.
Whatever it is, take some quiet time alone.
Me time.
No raucous music. No, like, I'm going to put myself in a space and I'm just going to kind of reflect, and I'm going to, whether I'm just breathing and focusing my energy, or whether I'm going over past experiences and how I was affected and how I can learn how to better adapt to my environment, whatever it is that you're thinking about, but like, to just take time and reflect.
Yeah. That was the thing that got me further. That was the thing, like, literally just self-reflection, correction, honest self-reflection.
But
being
judgmental.
Impeccable. Yeah, being impeccable. Which at the time I didn't know that's what I was attempting to do.
Can you look at yourself and go, you're a jackass. Yeah, I know. But there's something about me that's always going to be like this. So just enjoy it. Because I know for me personally, there's things like, there's so many things in your mind where you hear that voice in the back of your head go, you need to do this. And you're like, yes, I know.
You know what?
I just don't want to.
I completely agree with it. And, same time frame where, I'm figuring stuff out and going through things. I started to say yes to myself more. So that weird little voice that's just like, well, blah, blah, blah. And whether it's negative or not, I would find a way to spin it and be positive, because that's really what I was attempting to do. So even my own little negative chirping voice in the back of my head
was like you were having a duel with it.
But it became
trying to outsmart it.
Well, in a sense that I was starting to try to positively condition it so that it eventually I got to a place like.
So that came first.
Well, so now I'm kind of in this place where more times than not, that little voice in my head is just like, oh, bro, remember this. And it's just like, thank you, man. I appreciate you, brother. And so that voice has gone from those negative things to
if you ever run into a situation like that where you're just like, you know what? Like, and I'll be right in the middle of something and I think I'm suffering. And then I look up and I realize I really needed a moment of humility. And this came at exactly the right time. Yeah. And you'll just smile to yourself as you're knee deep in shit. You know what I mean? It's one of those things about life that it's so funny how, life or heaven or hell, if you want to believe, it's all in what you make it.
Yeah, because what's the
if you view everything as a challenge to overcome, or a task to make it through, I mean, would that not make it, and living each moment in the moment, wouldn't that be a better way to live?
And I think that goes back to the idea that heaven and hell and earth are actually all the same places. It's just what you're perceiving, which goes to that conversation that we all have about.
But it's hard to say. I mean, is it even the same place? I mean, because when you're there and you're in the thick of the darkness.
Well, so here's the thing.
It doesn't matter how bright the sun is shining.
Correct. Well, that's why I said it comes down to your perception. So here's the deal is, earth is still earth, and you can see it as heaven on earth or hell on earth or whichever, because it's what you're perceiving. So if you think it's all miserable, crappy, dark, blah, 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 whatever, that's going to be your perception. That's going to be the stuff you see. Whereas in actuality, there's plenty of stuff that's out there that's all positive, beautiful, and loving, but you've literally trained your brain to not see that stuff. So now you're living a literal hell on earth. And it's all because
some of it, I mean, because like you always say, everything kind of comes back to reflection on self.
I think it does. I mean, if we're supposed to be as a whole a part of all things, as all things are a part of us, then it would be a reflection.
When you yell at somebody else about something that disturbs you about their behavior, it's usually something that you feel inadequate about within yourself. It's always projection, is what you say.
And psychology speaks a lot about that, especially when it comes to my perception with it is that when it comes to particularly negative things, more times than not, it has everything to do with that person and nothing to do with you. You were just that component that triggered something.
When somebody's attacking you.
Even or just yelling towards you, or like anybody being negative, they're projecting, and it really has everything to do with themselves right there. And they're fighting it. They're not willing to accept that that's the reality, and they should work through it and past it and learn from it and just be done. You know, I mean, that's really what it comes down to. And
well, I mean, that's one side of it. The other side of it is, they've made their mistakes and they look at you and they're worried for you and genuinely and want you not to make the same mistakes that they made.
But then they wouldn't come at you in a negative manner. They'd be more impeccable in their expression, most likely.
It's not always that easy. You know what I mean?
Well, of course not.
Because you're like, I don't want to waste time.
All right, so let me.
But this is an honest train of thought, right?
Right.
I don't want to waste time pussyfooting around with this guy. Like, get the off your ass, get a job, do whatever it is you got to do. But people don't always respond to that. But it is kind of natural to want to just like rush into it and just say, hey, I've been through that. You don't understand. But it's like, no, you don't understand. Because guess what? Experience is the best teacher, and pain is the best teacher.
And see, that's why I'm saying that individuals like you and me, where we do self-reflect, we know these things, we wouldn't come at somebody in that fashion. We wouldn't be aggressive. We'd have that conversation and make our statements so that we feel validated and heard, as well as making sure that we also feel as though you've literally heard us. Doesn't mean, you lead the horse to water. Doesn't mean it's going to drink. But
I mean, I don't, in that kind of situation, I don't care if I'm validated. That's not really what, If it's something I feel like I'm sharing that's life-changing and important, I hope you hear it.
Well, and that's
if there's a message. If there's a message that I'm trying to get across, I just hope that you hear it.
But that's what I'm saying is you would be as impeccable as possible. Like you would attempt to be.
Because I'd hope to hell that I'm getting the message across correctly and succinctly.
Yeah.
Right?
And yelling at somebody's not going to do that, and you know that.
Absolutely.
So that's why I'm like, in that regard, I don't feel that anybody would do that. So if they're being negative...
Getting emotional, yes, but not yelling.
There's a difference between being poignant and being a douche. I get that.
Don't be a douche. As a general rule. Yeah, and we're going to make that into a sweatshirt, I think. That needs to be a sweatshirt.
Just bumper stickers. Just put on everything.
Just don't
Spaceballs
be a
the t-shirt. Yep. Spaceballs the flamethrower.
It will be there.
Spaceballs the cereal. Spaceballs the lunchbox.
Can we do that?
I'm telling you, the flamethrower.
Or a flamethrower keychain.
I mean, Elon Musk has a flamethrower. Why can't we? Right? Isn't that
sure? I don't think it actually operated. I think it was
dude. No, Joe Rogan said they were like throwing flames down the hallway. Like it doesn't shoot like crazy, but it shoots flames, bro.
It has it's supposed to be like for another purpose. I can't remember what it was.
I don't know. He's got a flamethrower, bro. Anyway, who cares?
Sidetrack. Tangent, man.
We've already tangent. We can't tangent any further.
We can't do that.
do whatever we want. But no, yeah. So seriously, going back to the idea that if you are in this place of self-reflecting, you typically find happiness and peace through, as you're saying, those struggles or hardships because you accept them for what they are and you learn from them. And then you having that knowledge in turn, wanting to express it. You don't yell it. So yeah, if you're being negative, it really is coming from the fact that you're fighting yourself because that's that internal struggle. You're just not aware of it. So
But I mean, if you're the person that feels you need to make change in a certain direction, you need to make change in that direction because that's how you feel. It's not because of what anybody else, and when it really all boils down to it, it's not because of what anybody else says, because you knowing that, you're not giving 100% in this area is going to consistently bother you until you find a way to fix that.
Right.
I always find that I'm generally my worst critic. And when somebody points out something that's an insufficiency of mine that I'm already well aware of, then I get pissed. Because I'm like, I know.
Well, it sounds more like frustration than being pissed.
Well, yeah, it is. It's frustration. But it's like,
Well, see, in that regard, you're
But those are the moments where you have to allow some compassion for yourself and be like, yes, I understand, I'm working on it. It takes time, bro.
Well, that's why
what
rule
age
number
starts to bring.
That's what rule number 4 or agreement number 4. Do your best always.
Jinx.
Oh, now I can't talk. Oh man.
Oh, and that was one of the videos that was shared, wasn't it? It was. It was your guy that wrote the 4 agreements and his son, and it was either one of the ones that was shared, or I just went down a hole from one of the.
I'm going to say you went down a rabbit hole. I don't remember that one. But I mean, dude, sometimes you guys start getting into a serious chat, and then when I catch up, I'm like an hour or 2 behind, but it's like 2 days worth. It feels like it's just like. So I have missed
you
stuff.
shared a couple of videos, and I think Jody shared one, or JD shared one, and then we got off on a whole. I don't know. I don't know if I went down a hole on that one or not. I really don't.
I mean, knowing you, probably
maybe.
But I mean, we both do that, like, because I think honestly, we're dragging her down.
Well, and then I look away and I'm doing something else for a minute, and then I don't realize that it actually skipped to another video. Sometimes
I hate when that happens.
Sometimes it happens. I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't what I was watching.
I know, like I'd be watching something about Atlantis. All of a sudden, they're just like talking about like dump trucks. I'm like, wait, what? What? No, they are not. This
isn't where I parked my car.
I got button hooked by the freaking. I hate when that happens. I hate when that happens. I get so angry.
Chase me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with the idea of going down the rabbit hole in a sense if it is very much, purposely. Like, like we just said, if it's the fact that we forgot or got sidetracked and all of a sudden we're like, wait, this is not what I was watching. When did this finish? What is going? Well, 20 minutes.
This particular video was pretty cool. It was a conversation, but who was the guy we were just talking about? That, like I said,
I think his name's Miguel.
No. The interviewer, the one podcaster that.
Oh, Aubrey.
Yeah, Aubrey
Marcus.
So it was Aubrey and the guy who wrote the 4 agreements and his son were all in a chat together in this particular one.
Okay.
And it was really cool. It was really eye-opening. I mean, they're talking things simply through, but it's really like on an energetic level. It's not like on a finite, like, issue-based, it's like the way that they're talking through things. And it was really, I like that Aubrey. I've seen a couple of his.
I do like him.
He's interviewed some of our favorite Hot Topic people too. I mean,
you were telling me that on break earlier.
Yeah, like a couple of the people that we've really fallen into as far as interest wise, with the way that they conversate and the way that they carry themselves, and
very much
like JP.
Has he done Joe Rogan yet? Like, has he been on his show?
Yeah, no, I think he has talked to Joe Rogan at least once.
Because I mean, so Joe Rogan's more the type you go to him, he doesn't come to you.
I love that.
But he's
I'm just gonna put that out there right now, Joe.
Do you want to see like get us? Yeah, this is Joe Rogan. We love you, bro.
I would totally get on Joe Rogan. I'm a nobody. I would love it.
But But this is what's great about us is, the running joke of a couple of nobodies talking about nothing.
But that's what it is.
Because in the grand scheme of things, we really aren't this amazing, special, whatever. Like, but
I'm not a doctor.
Are. Yeah,
I'm not even a
at
dentist.
the same time, we are because we're free. Like, we're truly free. We express ourselves. We get to talk and share and feel, and we never feel bad about it. Like, we only feel good, and we keep putting as much of it. Like, we're really good people. Like,
the less I feel like I have to filter my speech, the better.
Well, as you should, because again, as I was saying, like, as you get older and wiser, hopefully, as we're doing, you become more impeccable, which means that you're less likely to be negative or project. You're more likely to offer almost anecdotal.
I'm going to tend to be more particular about like how and what I say. You know what I mean? Like,
because I always talk about the thing in the Matrix where the old guy's talking to Neo and he's giving the story about like the machines and this, that, and the other. And he just looks at me. He's like, "Oh, yeah." He's like, "What's the?" He's like, "What point? No point." He's like, "Old men like me, we know there's no point to making a point." They tell you
I don't need to make a point anymore. I made my point when I was young.
They tell you a story to offer you a bit of, reflection.
But really, there is, and there always was a point to that. Like, the poignant part was if you were paying attention to this story, you would have understood that already. So I'm not gonna, But what you say? Oh, there's no point. Yeah. Of course, there's no point. No, but absolutely, there's a point.
But it's also,
and
you know what I'm
doing.
But in not making a point, it also allows the receiver of this information to make their own point from it.
It has to be stumbled on your own.
Yeah, that's why
that's really where the power of all these things. That's why experience tends to be the best teacher, unfortunately, because it's not until you stumble on it to yourself where those 100 other times that your folks had told you not to do something, you finally do it and you go, now I get it. Now it all makes sense.
I don't think I really had too many of those.
Oh, everybody's got to at least have one of those moments.
No, like I don't.
Like you'll shoot your eye out, like, now I get it. I get it.
No, so I've always been very observant. Like that's like one of my things is pattern recognition. So I'm always observing. Like I'm literally just ingesting stuff going on around me. And my parents very much raised me on the idea of be smart and learn from other people's mistakes as well. So I would very much heed the word or look at or find a way to kind of work around it or, because I don't like being told no, but at the same time, I can't defy physics. Stuff still breaks and burns, but I was very much more the type to heed the word of your elders and really try to just but not also do it so that it holds you back and keeps you from doing things, but move forward in a little bit more cautious or experienced manner than you would have before. So yeah, that's why I really didn't have too many of those or at all really, because it's just, I don't know. That's how my parents raised me. Just be smart.
It's just funny because it's like it's in moments when you're doing exactly the opposite of what your folks are telling you should be doing when you're thinking about these quotes. But that's the thing about wisdom, though, that even through that thing that you're doing in the process of doing it, knowing it's the wrong thing to do, that voice is still in your head, repeating that knowledge and that wisdom.
Right.
That's why I'm saying when you get to the other point at the end of that and you go, why the heck did I do that? You go, man, they were right. Damn it. Because it's still repeating in your head. You're like, the whole time.
Yeah, see, I would so typically the lessons that I have to teach myself, as far as like spiritual mentality, any of that kind of stuff, like emotional intelligence, like truly living life, like making life mistakes.
Nobody else can teach you that stuff.
Yeah, those are the ones that it seems that those take me. I do those a few times. It's usually when people offer like that, that anecdotal information or experience. I'm kind of like, I see your point. That's good. I'm gonna write that down.
It can help, but only if you're perceptive to it. And that's the weird thing about it. Like there's always somebody there throughout whatever moments in your life that's there and willing to help you. But I mean, and I know in retrospect, looking at past times in my own life, that it's because I wasn't ready for it. And had I been 20% more this and 20% less that at that very moment, who knows what kind of opportunity could have befallen me back then, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Or how my life could have spun into a totally different direction.
See, and that's Dr. Eric Thomas talks about that a lot in some of his talks, is that be grateful that you didn't receive what you're asking for now, because the likelihood is you're probably not ready for it. You're going to lose it. Because his big thing is the name of the...
Who's to say it wasn't already handed to you, but you didn't recognize it for what it was?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's just an extension, but yeah, it's very true. Because, I mean, it's a thing of if you were truly meant to have it, you would be able to get it, because he's the type that it doesn't matter what you're asking for, because it could be emotional, spiritual, financial. You want betterment or abundance. You have to be grateful for it, but you have to be in that appreciative state of it. You got to earn it.
It's in fighting that fact that we have a body and that we have natural needs and wants, because honestly, we don't need for anything. And I think that's the beauty.
Other than like substance, like
well, no, but I'm saying the needs of the body is one thing, but that's a balance between, spiritually, you don't need anything. And I think that's what's funny when you come full circle with things like that, is you come to the realization that you didn't really have to go, you didn't actually go anywhere. That's why it's always full circle, you didn't actually have to go anywhere. You had to go the roundabout to figure out that you were exactly where you needed to be.
Oh yeah, dude, I said it all the time.
So many times in my life where I've come to that realization that I'm like, if I had realized this a year ago, I wouldn't have had to go through that rigmarole. But I had to go through that rigmarole to realize I didn't need to go through
the irony of life, as it were, pretty much. Yeah, no, and I mean, yeah. The extension of what I was saying with Dr. Eric Thomas is he's so much so with all of what you're doing that it's not about just getting it. It's also about keeping it. So maintaining it, building your life and your habits around that. So that's why he's like, be thankful you don't have it yet, because you'd probably ruin it and then you'd feel bad and then you'd never get there. And he's like, so yeah, be okay with the fact that you got to crawl right now and accept it and just be okay with that. And, we all have to do it. You got to start somewhere. The fact is, like, the loop-de-loop, I said that the journey, I used the mountain as the analogy of, you're going up this mountain because you're looking at this other mountain, and you get to the top of that and you realize it's like, no, you're not still going up a mountain. There's another valley, and now it's like, well, I can't go that way.
There really is something to that when I said, though, that there's moments in reflection on past times in my life now where I realized that had I been mentally prepared in a different way to handle a certain situation, it could have turned out completely differently. And my life could have spun off in a much better or much worse condition than it is now. And it's just, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It totally is what it is. And I'm not, because I realized halfway through that it could sound like I have regrets in my life, but I really don't feel that way.
I didn't get that vibe.
But
that's why I gave you it do what it do, baby.
It's just so funny, like that if we,
it is what it is, but this is not that.
That, it may be the only difference between us and people that have all this crazy potential is just the fact that they've found a way to tap into and know thyself, which I think maybe that should be part of the title for tonight's show, is Know Thyself. That's always been held tantamount. Like, why? Because it changes your perception.
Dude, wasn't that the saying that was over the freaking wall in the kitchen in the Matrix?
Yes.
In Latin.
Exactly.
Right? Dude, see,
no, it's like nosce te ipsum or something like that.
Bro, so not only do we come full circle in episodes, but we're also coming full circle of Green Room to, like, I'm telling you. How do we do this?
I like that.
I mean, we literally don't plan this, but yeah, no, it's
But I mean, it's like some of these videos that we tend to share, off the mic. that
in our
kind of
side chats.
that puts, I don't know, well, I can't speak for everyone, but puts me in a mindset of certain things that I always think about, when it comes to consciousness and understanding why it is that we do what we do, and this crazy role that spirit and the needs of the body and how that balances out. And I mean, because if it wasn't for the needs of the body, we wouldn't do 9/10 of what we do. No, I mean, honestly,
no, it's very true. That's why I laughed.
Because you could just sit back and enjoy the fact that I have a consciousness and I have a being and I have a spirit and I have an understanding and I have a now that I can enjoy. And how easy would it be to fall into that now and just stay there? Like, if you didn't need to eat, if you didn't need to sleep, if you didn't.
Yeah. Well, I think so. What we seem to be getting on our journey, spiritual research, education wise, is that the construct that we're in is more or less a means to experience time as a human, like literally both parts in that sense.
Well, time.
Well, so
time
Be
is
mindful and present.
well, so if
time is tied in with matter, so that's kind of a weird.
So that's the thing is, so we as actual entities or souls, as we'll call them, on the other side and the other dimensions, the things that we can't see because they resonate on frequencies that our bodies don't pick up on, that kind of stuff. We literally don't get to be a part of it or see it, even though that's what we are. So that when we cross into this world, it's a very much a learning experience of, can we move past through? So it's coming from being one kind of entity and trying to embrace this human experience. So it's very much like I'm a soul having a human experience. Is kind of how I look at it.
I know that's one of the things I trip over, and I don't know if this is like off completely from where you're going with this, but
that's what we do here, bro. Let's have it.
But like, trying to, and whether I'm having a conversation with somebody else or whether I'm trying to talk it out in my own head, but the concept of the fact that your life goes on, life is eternal. Okay, it's this body, it's the matter that degrades and passes on. That
right, the vessel.
That the life is what continues, and the life has always been. Like, there really is no way to know where the beginning and the end is, because during the moment of consciousness, when I realize I'm conscious, I'm looking at myself, knowing that I'm looking at myself through the and from a different perspective. You are the result of a pinhole in a blacked out globe. You are the result of a pinhole with light coming out of it. You are part of the whole. And trying to understand this, what that means for your person, that you as Philly D is tied to a body. To say that, well, like, people have this really difficult, and me included, have this difficult a way to try and understand and comprehend what it means to reincarnate into another life. Is it's not me. Because when you say me, you mean all the life experiences that you've had within this shell and how that's affected you and your emotional stability when it comes to whatever it is, like your personalities, all that is what you are when you're here.
Right.
Once you're not here, you are just spirit. And that's why it's really kind of hard to understand. Like, you're not separate from anything. You are completely all together again. And it's not you. That's why there's no identity.
Yeah.
It's the moment. That's all it is.
Yeah, like that's what JD was saying. Right.
That's it. It's a wild concept to think of, though. Like,
well, so that's why.
What were you before you were born?
So
what are you after you die?
Just soul, energy. I mean, matter can't be destroyed; it can only be remade into something else.
It's you, but it's not you. You know what I mean? Like,
well, and that's the difference between your soul and your body, and your mind, because your mind controls the body and your soul controls the mind. That's how I look at it. But we typically allow our minds to control our souls.
I think the body is nothing more than a reflection of the spirit.
Wait, I mean,
it's a physical, it's a lower vibrational physical representation of your spirit.
Yeah, it's an avatar.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing is, I very much.
Do we always get deep like this when we're on like our last 10 minutes, or is it just?
If you'd like to tell us, write in.
If you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again.
All circuits are busy due to the earthquake in the area. Like, what?
Access denied. Access denied. Access denied.
Enhance.
Just print it.
But see, I very much feel if the idea is to have a human experience, to be incarnated as a human, is to see what that experience is like, to have those kind of moments in memory, to feel time, all that stuff. If that's the thing, to me, it's almost as if we cosmically are these.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Is this a classroom?
Well, so I feel more so it's almost as if it's like the Matrix in the sense. It's just a VR video game. You get uploaded into this system to figure out betterment for you. Whether it's I can figure out how to make this system work better so we can learn from it better, or if it's like, I hack the system, or if it's literally just like The Sims / Grand Theft Auto.
But it doesn't even matter if you do better this time around. Well, because then when you come out of it, you realize, but we need to do better. So I need to go back so I can help other people come along. Like, is that really what's been going on for millions of years?
Well, because, all right, so think about this. If we keep getting...
That's so deep, man.
Right, well, because, all right, so think about if we keep getting more and more humans, that means more and more entities are willing to...
Beings of light, by the way, that's what that means.
But...
Hugh, man.
Cool, great, thanks, Tangent Man.
Beings of light, sorry.
But no, if that's the thing is like we keep going in to do this and we keep getting a larger population of humans, to me that means more and more entities are playing the game because they're trying to figure it out. Because I mean, why else? Or either that, or they're all having fun because cosmically, as you look in on it, realizing that it's your friends making an ass of themselves. They're like, look at him, he's stressing out. He gave himself anxiety. Now he needs meds. What a moron. Like, it's just,
I don't think it would be that at all.
But what if, because why else would we keep having a greater population?
More like a sad understood, like, oh.
But why would we keep getting a larger population of people that are basically attempting to have an experience and learn from it? Why would we be doing that? And then also at the same time talk about how we all live in this world that seems to be so miserable. And it's like, it's not. Like there is so much more beauty. And
I think this might be a little late in the episode to start talking about this kind of stuff.
Well, I think we're kind of wrapping up on it.
It's always made me wonder, are there not powers that be out there that are trying to keep knowledge like this away from people? Has it not been happening for thousands of years? I mean, in some ways, it's so difficult to think your way through that it's almost inaccessible to begin with. But doesn't it feel like this stuff should, when we're now coming to, and that's what gets me is like, we're now kind of the point where like scientifically we can back up the fact that spirituality has a purpose, a reason. Because we make these connections with self, we feel better, we feel more balanced, our health changes, that there's a scientific backing to this now that we can actually prove some of these things.
There's empirical data.
Yeah, exactly.
I figured you would have tried to throw that in there and you weren't, so I was like, I'm going to help you out. Right. I'm laughing for you is what I'm doing.
So much fun we have in the Matrix.
But that's my point though, is like, why would we be doing this if there wasn't a greater purpose to help us externally as these supposed all-knowing souls?
But maybe this is the greater purpose, to come to that understanding. Yeah, like the old Hindu belief is that basically, God was the only thing. There was nothing else.
It was the creator.
So in order to understand himself, he split himself.
He needed to be able to observe himself.
Right.
Which is where you get into the basic atom of hydrogen, where you have
so that was the birthplace of dualistic world dichotomy, having, every issue has two sides. You can't have black without white, or light without dark.
But then you also had to have a third perception of that so that you could see that that's what you were seeing.
Well, that's.
Which you having that external perception, seeing yourself as split so that you can see that there's a reflection of it, is where we get into the whole Trinity thing and everything else too.
Right, but it continues to build on top of that.
That's why I think they say 3 is like the magic number, basically. It's the true holy of holies, because it makes all things viable, and we're talking like math, everything. Like it's the construct that we work with in a sense. That's why the whole Tesla thing, where he's talking about frequencies, vibrations, thinking in the ideas of 3, 6, and 9. I feel very drawn to that for some reason. Like there seems to be a lot of truth.
Well, and that
resonates with me in that.
That conceptually, that stretches beyond physical matter as well.
Yeah,
that stretches and bounces back and forth between the physical and the spiritual realm. Or this ether that he would speak of.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's why when you introduced me to Walter Russell, I was like, I get this guy. I feel this. Like this is
like, and that's what throws me. Is like you're talking about a guy that basically meditated himself into some of the darkest recesses of science, well ahead of his time.
Yeah.
To the point where he actually figured out, elements that came before hydrogen. And like we've found some of them since then.
Dude, I think this is going to be a great we need to come back to this conversation because, it is time.
It's always good. It's always good.
It is time to stop now.
It's time.
Yeah. Got it.
Well, you can't feed us after midnight, Don't get us wet. Is that what?
No, I think what it is we're supposed to be saying that this show is called I'm Telling You.
It is. And you're Philly D.
Yeah, and Mr. Gemini and Miss JD over there.
And we hold it together.
And also, we would like for people to reach out to us and help us continue the conversation.
At ITY at directionsinmusic.org.
That's one of the spots. Yeah.
Or you could message me directly at GEMINI directionsinmusic.org.
I like it when you do the robot. Bumming me out, man. It's cool though. It's whatever, bro.
Well, drop your stuff, man.
What, Philly D at directionsinmusic.org, the PHILLYD. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You gotta put a little emphasis on the syllable.
Yeah, we would keep going, and we probably will once we shut the mics off, but
we
just
do.
never really
That's
stops.
why we have a side chat. This is what we do here.
It never stops.
But yeah, I want to get back to this whole Trinity idea with the atoms and stuff.
It really is.
Yeah.
Always.
But as always, we thank you for stopping in. We appreciate you so much, fam.
Always be good.
I'm telling you, hit us up email wise. Yeah, and then just do your thing and be good to yourself and be good to everyone else.
That's right. Much love.
Yeah. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.